Hello viewers, and welcome back to another video, an unboxing video. This time it's all Betamax themed, well pretty much apart from a couple of small items. I did say to myself some time ago that I wouldn't go back down the Betamax route and start buying them again. A couple of reasons. A, they're quite big and cumbersome to store, and also they're quite hard to work on, well for me at least anyway. I'm more of a mechanically minded kind of person than electronically minded, so I do better with the mechanical side of things. But in saying that, I got a bit bored recently. I started looking on eBay as you do. A Betamax popped up that I haven't had for a very long time, an SL-HF100. So I've got one of those here, amongst a couple of other machines. And of course, before you know it, you start bidding on more and more things, and then you end up winning some, don't you? So with that in mind, let's get started. Which one should we do first? Oh, it's a heavy one. I think this is an SL-100, one of the hi-fi ones. Yes, SL-HF100. Looking good with the packaging so far. It's always the biggest worry when you buy these kind of things off of eBay is how they get sent. Here we go. I've never actually had one of these before. It's a front loading machine, and usually it's got still got a little window on the top there so you can see your tape. Let's have a look at the back of it. So what we've got there then, video out, video in, audio in and out, stereo. Very unusual for the time. I think this is around about 86, this machine, maybe a little bit later. And a multi-AV input there as well. Aerial in and out, and your power button. Big heatsink on the back there. Serial number is 20, I'm assuming is the beginning of what they all are. So this is 4586. Model SL-HF100UB. There was only two models that I remember actually being available in the UK that had the hi-fi capability. This was one of them obviously, and then there was the SL-HF950. Which I had years ago and reluctantly got rid of. It's a lovely machine. The whole mechanism comes out as a drawer on the front. Let's have a look at the front now. It's nice that it's still got its flap. Usually that's missing. I can see that the little catches there that hold it in place, that one's been glued back on and that one's missing. But usually these are missing altogether, so that's nice. Your left and right audio levels there. Now this was sold as faulty. I think he said that it doesn't take a tape. And from the research that I've done, I think there's a little plastic cog in there in the loading mechanism that breaks. I think there's a modification you can do. You can get like a bag of cogs off of eBay for radio control cars and modify one of them to fit. So that'll be interesting. We'll just plug it in quick. Gee, that plug's looking a bit suspect. It's not even closed properly. In fact, it's not even wired in right. Let's just check that plug quickly first, and I'll plug it in to make sure it's got the right fuse. Usually with these things they always have the wrong fuse in. It's back in the day, of course, in England nothing came with a plug on it. You had to put your own one on, and your own fuse obviously. I've actually got the right one in there, I can't believe it. It's got a 3 amp one, which is what it should have. See, they haven't even bothered putting the cable gripper underneath. I won't mess around with that now. I'll just plug it in quickly to make sure it also see if it comes on. I'm not going to put a tape in because I can't find my test tape, and I don't want to put a good one in it in case it chews it up. I'll save that for probably another video. So let's turn it off at the back first. A very long cord. Okay, let's switch it on. It's very dim, the display. Oh, there we go. Yes, it's in reverse mode. Right, stop now. It's flashing cassette inside. Well, you're not going to probably be able to see that on camera, but the little Beta logo light there lit up. Yeah, nice machine. It's very heavy. I'll leave that there for a minute. What should we do next? Let's do this one here. I think this is actually a camcorder. It's not a BETAMOVIE, so I think it's VHS-C. But I thought I'd just open it up in this video anyway. I think it's in one of those big cases. Now, I shouldn't have bought this because I thought I already owned it, but I don't. I do own a clone of it. It's a VHS-C machine, but I couldn't resist the price. It was £9 postage, and it was a 99p starting bid, and I won it for 99p. So I couldn't let it go. I'm terrible with things like that. Have a look, see what we've got in here. Very squashed instruction manual. So it's a GRC2. So I've got probably 3 or 4 of these machines now. Actually, I've got 2 JVCs, and this is the AKAI version. There we go. I've got in there some batteries. They probably had it now. Saying that though, I've got one. I'm charged, ready to test this actually. It still works. We've got a strap in there, power supply, and an RF unit. Nothing else. What's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, that's handy. So that's a video lead. I haven't got that version, that lead actually. So that end comes out the camera, the DIN. Then you've got audio and video to go into probably the back of that Betamax actually. So if you were copying your tape over, that would go straight in. So that's handy. A lovely case. It's worth it just for the case on its own, really. £10 or £9.99. I've got a battery here charged. Wow, it's a lovely camera. I do love the design of it. This is the model that came after the C1. If you can see it on the camera. No, you can't see it. I've got this red C1 up there, which is from the Back to the Future films. That one there. So that came first, and then it was this one. Very similar in design, but this has got quite an unusual viewfinder on it. In that it's all completely separate, which I quite like actually. Little black and white screen in there. Autofocus. Got your filter there. AGC, I forget what that is now. Focus, auto manual, auto iris, fader, touch focus, white balance, mode check. There's already a tape in there. It says take 4 that's handwritten on there. So let's pop this battery in and see if it works. Oh, the little displays lit up, and the little counter on the side there. Don't know if you can see that on the camera. Well, red lights come on, and the viewfinder's on. So it's a good sign. I forget now which button you press to make just the camera mode work. Might just be stop. Mode check, that was it. Or maybe not. Let's see if there's anything on the tape. There is, it's playing back. Looks like somebody's on a coach or a train. So that's playing back in there, if you can see that up on the little camera. Let's see if the tube works, because these are a tube based camera, 4 CCD. Put it into record mode. There we go. See if the tube comes on. Oh, got the lens cap on. That's a famous mistake that everybody makes, and here we go. And it's working. Just zoom out. Here we go. Can't believe it. Do you know, every one of these that I've bought so far, touch wood, has worked. It's a miracle really when you think about it. I bet this hasn't been switched on for at least 20 years. Absolutely marvellous. Still works after all this time. Got a little pull out bit here at the back. There we go. And then it goes on your shoulder like that. Zoom's working. And the focusing is working as well. The autofocus is actually working. Sometimes some of the models they're belt driven, and the belt perishes. You can hear the motor whizzing away, but obviously it's not going to work. Marvellous. Let's see if it plays back what I've just recorded. They all sound like they're chewing up your tape when they're in rewind. Yeah, it's playing back perfectly. Wow. I'm going to have to do a video on all of these actually, so I've got quite a few different variations of it. They did quite a few clones, but primarily they are all JVC cameras, just with all the manufacturer's badges on. Amazing. You buy any camcorder from the early 90s to the mid 90s, even late, and very rarely do they work at all. They all suffer with that capacitor plague. Marvellous. Right, what have we got next? Let's have a look at SLF1. In fact, hopefully it's been packed well. Oh, it's actually in its original box. Wow. Well, that's even better. They didn't show it. They didn't show it being in its box in the listing. So that's even better. Wow. Don't think I've ever seen the box for one of these. Look at that. It's a piece of history in itself, isn't it? Swing, search, picture search, record, review. Serial number, if it's the same unit that's in the box, 3277 SLF1UB. Wow. There we go, it's got the instruction manual as well. Oh, all the original packaging. It's amazing. Well, the year's on there. That's what I love about Sony manuals. I know I always say it. They always have the year on. 1982. I was 7 years old then. Wow. Amazing. To have all the packaging. That's just amazing, isn't it? But I guess these things were so expensive back in the day. I forget how much this one was now. I've got a book as well with all the prices in. I should have looked first. But it probably would have been around the £1,000 mark. So in today's money, you're probably looking around probably about £3,000. Well, back in the day, you would rent something like this because obviously not many people could afford it. Wow. I haven't seen one of these in such a long time. I think the last time I owned one of these I was about 16. Got a multi-port connector on the back there, DC in, RF channel adjust. No shoulder strap unfortunately, no battery. I did ask the seller actually if they had any other bits for it, they said they couldn't find anything. Camera adapter there, Sony's camera connection. It's very yellow, like it's nicotine. It does smell like cigarette smoke actually. Mic input. And on the front there, what we've got there, fast forward play, rewind, ×2, stop, reverse slow forward, pause. No remote with it, which is unusual. I'm sure it did come with a remote, but they probably lost it. Oh, very nice. I don't know if it's any smaller or bigger than I remember it being. Forget what I paid for it now. I think, what was it about? I think it might have been around the £60 mark. Obviously sold as untested. Well, this one's a surprise one. Well, a surprise to me because I didn't know it existed until very recently. Looking on eBay, doing research and reading books. Well, they packed it well, look. Wrapped everything up individually. Well, to give you a clue, there's a step down transformer there, 240 volts to 110, and it is the American version of the SL1. Oh. That's the first part of it. So this is the SL2000. This one does beta 1, 2 and 3, which I didn't even know existed until very recently. I don't know if there's any other differences with this machine. Physically it looks exactly the same. Same controls on the front. Serial number on this one, 76142. Again, I think this was sold as untested, but I've got the tuner power supply with this one. I remember showing a picture of it lit up, but they didn't say they had any tapes to try it, which I always find unusual because normally when you've got this kind of thing you do end up keeping the tapes. But I guess if it was family stuff, they probably just didn't want to part with them, or I don't know actually. They could have still tested it, couldn't they? To let you know that it was working. Got some unusual connections here which are foreign to me, being here in the UK. The tuning, those RF connectors there, they're American or Japanese. In England we use those for satellite and for cable TV, or sorry, internet. And then you've got UHF in and out. I don't know why you would need that. I guess it's a pass through. Remote off, heater, captions, PCM. The heater, I think that's basically to keep that warm, so when you take it outside to use it, it keeps the drum warm basically to stop the tape sticking to the heads. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. It's missing the flap unfortunately. But I didn't pay an awful lot for this. I think I paid around about £30–40 for it posted, which I didn't think was too bad. I think the fact that it's American put people off. But me collecting anything really related to it, I don't mind. Plus I've never seen one before, and it'll be interesting to see what the quality is like at beta 2 and 3, if it works of course, which it probably doesn't. Right then, what have we got next? Just 2 left I think. Oh, this is something I've never owned, which I always wanted in the past, but I couldn't get a hold of one. Ready? A BETAMOVIE. I've never actually had one of these. I've had the BMC500 and the 110, which were tube-based cameras, but this is the first CCD version that they did. This came out around about 1984–85. Again, this was a lot of money, about £1,000 when it came out. But the disappointing thing with these BETAMOVIEs is that some of you already know is that they're record-only machines. You can't play your tape back in the actual camera itself, which has struck me as being a bit odd really, but I guess it kept the price down a little bit. I've always been kind of put off buying one as well because I'm told that usually the CCD can be fogged up, which seems to be a problem with some of the Sony cameras. Well, there's the AC adapter. That's for charging the batteries, I think. That slide down. Not sure how that opens up. Oh, I see. It slides out. But I don't think you can plug it into the camera, can you? No, you can't. So I'm not going to be able to test this anytime soon because the batteries will probably have it. Oh, that's handy. There's an MP1 battery there. That's actually for the SL-HF100s. So if it doesn't work, you could always obviously modify it to take lithium cells. So that would might be useful. These are in the boxes still. Well, still got the little instruction pamphlet there. MP11. Very good condition. Doesn't look like it's been used very much. I have had 1 or 2 batteries still work that are 20 years old. So there's always a little bit of hope there. And there's another box. Oh, that's a nice box. Look at that. This just oozes 1985, doesn't it? 84, 85. Wow. Got a serial number on the side there. 206 239. So again, 20. It looks like they're all beginning with 20. So it's probably 6,239. That's a lot of units, isn't it? I just love the box. It's just in perfect condition. Well, it's even got the polystyrene inserts. That's amazing. I do like having the boxes, but the problem is it's storing them, isn't it? They take up so much room. Wow. There's a tape in there. It's a short one. It looks like an L25. What does it say on there? Peach or beach? Not sure. Handwritten on. Oh yeah, there it is. How does that unfold? Let's see. Yeah, this is it's an optical viewfinder. There's no black and white screen there like you would normally get with a camcorder. Obviously it's not needed because it's a recorder only. So I guess it helped keep the price down and the weight. And the battery goes in the front there. Wow. I should imagine back in the day this was like amazing technology because around the same time, or just before, which is the HVC range of cameras, 2000, 3000, 4000, that went with one of those recorders. Whereas that's an all-in-one unit, but obviously the downside of that, you've still got to own a machine to play your tapes back. Still nice to have though. Right, last one. This is not Betamax themed or even VHS. This is something entirely different. Another Sony product. Something I've been after for quite some time actually. Probably do a separate video on this altogether. Here we go. So Sony Vaio picture frame, CP1. Now I know what you're thinking, what's so interesting about that? Well, this is one of the first Wi-Fi frames that they did. I do have a couple of Sony servers that were sold alongside this at the time. I think around about 2005ish. In fact, there might be a date on the box somewhere. Just a quick look. No, I can't see anything. And basically, you could have all your photographs on your server, and this could connect to it and stream them live directly to this. It also has or had Shoutcast radio app built in, so you could listen to internet radio. I do actually already have one of these, but unfortunately, when the Shoutcast radio stopped working, I tried to do a firmware update for it, the Japanese version, Unfortunately, it went a bit wrong, and the machine's now just useless, just for spares. There we go. Still all the packaging. This is actually, I think this was sold to me as new old stock. It's a lovely little device. That is still new. Wow. Famous yellow Sony tape. You could also get RSS feeds up on this as well. I think the weather also. There we go. It's a lovely little device. It's got card inputs on the bottom there, SD, memory stick pro, and compact flash, USB. It's got stereo speakers built in as well. Let's see what else is in the box. We've got that little remote control, still sealed. Everything's still sealed, it's never been used. The little leg in there as well to hold it up. That just screwed in the back. You can feel that the rubber grip across the bottom there is a little bit sticky, and that's the same material that's only used on their laptops, and it basically perishes after a while. It just disintegrates and sticks to everything like gum. Yeah, it's a lovely little device that. So I'll do a separate video on that altogether. Well, I think that just about concludes another unboxing video. Got some more interesting gadgets here to have a play with and test out in some future videos. Can't wait to try out that BETAMOVIE, and hopefully one of my beta machines will work so I can see the recording back. Well, I think that just about wraps up this video. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing you. And if you did enjoy watching this video, you may want to take a look at some of my other videos on similar themes. I'm always buying something on eBay, some old piece of technology, and trying to repair it. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.